Welcome to another episode on Inspiration Unleashed. Today we're looking at the latest in UAP news for the past week or so. If you're interested in this topic, I'm sure you've already heard about most, if not all, of these topics, but I wanted to share these anyways because a lot of people are just entering the UAP and the NHI topic. So I've got some great clips to share, some information with my take on these as well. And like always, links for all of these will be in the description below, so you can go ahead and check these out for yourself when you have some more time. All right, let's dive into it. First, we have Admiral Tim Gallaudet on the Sean Ryan Show. This is a fantastic interview. It's 2.5 hours long, and he goes through lots of topics here on the show. We're going to skip to a portion that I think is really great to be shared, but definitely check it out. Link will be in the description. You can watch the entire video. Now, the Admiral does say a lot of times he's not sure of things. He doesn't know, maybe this, maybe that, or things are classified and just can't talk about it. I know people are begging for the names. They're begging for that classified information, but we know with these active and retired military personnel, they're not going to break their oath. And I'd rather him say, I don't know about something, versus just making something up or sharing his opinion on what he doesn't know or doesn't have the data for. So definitely give this one a watch.
So we could have had planes falling out of the sky, but we're not going to talk about it because of this overclassification. That's what's. There's a lot of unethical aspects, I think, of this whole UAP system that exists right now in the government.
Man, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
That somebody, I mean, how high up does this go, do you think? These people pulling the strings saying, get rid of that, take that email out.
Well, I don't know.
Send out this disinformation.
Yeah. I don't know how high it is, but obviously AARO's last report, the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office in the Pentagon, was so deliberately false that obviously it's... And they had to approve it. So it's got to be pretty high at the SecDef. And I would say certainly the NSC level. Probably ODNI. Avril Haines, I'm sure, had some decision to say, nope, we're not going to talk about this. And same with Jake Sullivan, the NSC, I'm sure.
Next one is Thomas Jane on Christian Harloff's show, The Big Thing. He's really diving deep into the UFO UAP topic lately, which is fantastic. He set up a second channel to this as well. And again, this is one of these channels that the YouTube algorithm just popped up for me one day. And so I've been a fan ever since. Hopefully that's how you're finding this channel as well. And you can subscribe and become a fan. That said, in my opinion, this is one of the best interviews that Christian has done lately on this topic, because Thomas has been looking into this for 15 years on his own time and never really spoke about it with anyone. And he's got a book in the works and his name has gone out there. Now he's doing conferences and that kind of thing. And why I like this interview is because, well, like anyone who likes to be in their own echo chamber, he says a lot of things that I feel I've discovered in my own research over the years as well. So we're sort of on the same page. So again, I'm going to play a clip, but definitely give this whole one a watch. It's a little over an hour, so nothing too crazy.
Like I said, there's nothing to gain right now for the government or the military to come out and say, for the military to come out and say, yeah, they look like they're extraterrestrial visitors and we have absolutely no way of controlling them. They can come and go as they please. They can park themselves over a lake and take hundreds of gallons of water. They can abduct people and take sperm and eggs from them. God knows what they're doing there, because we don't really know. Like, the military's nothing to gain from saying anything like that, right? And the government's got nothing to gain to govern a populace that knows that they're not the only intelligent creatures in the ballpark. Where then you start asking questions like, well, what it does is it reframes humanity as one race instead of all of the divisions and the identity buckets that society, the government wants to put us in to get us all kind of fighting, right? We've been doing this since the beginning of time, divide and conquer. It doesn't help the narrative, right, at all.
Next is Steven Spielberg has announced he's making a new UFO film that is set to be released on May 15th, 2026. So pretty excited there. Now, yes, there's lots of controversy with Spielberg and Hollywood in general So this will be interesting because we know ET, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, were supposed to be used as soft disclosure, which obviously we know now didn't work out. So will this be part of that same program, or will it be heavily edited and influenced by some certain 3-letter agencies? And if he's now working for the other side, will it be used to try and put all of this back in the box of everything that's come out, everything that will come out in the next couple of years? So it will be quite interesting to see which way this goes. Obviously, I'm hoping this film will bring more light and truth to the subject. Time will tell. Now, this has just been released, a transcript with the former CIA spy. He's saying the government is afraid because they don't know anything. Now, when we talk about the government, what is the government? Surely, somewhere along the line, someone knows exactly what is going on, and they simply don't want to share that with the rest of the world. Everyone has their own agenda. Like the other stuff, I'm going to leave a link to this below. You can have a listen. You can have a read through this as well. Now, when it comes to these 3-letter agencies, you always have to use your discernment, your intuition, because whether they're active or not, they could very well be part of the misinformation and disinformation campaigns that have been ongoing since day one. Next, we have Lou Elizondo's book. He has finally announced the release date. It'll be in August 2024. It's titled Imminent: Inside the Pentagon's Hunt for UFOs. Lou says this is his call to action. The stakes could not be higher. It went through a 9-month U.S. government security review. He had a senior member of ATIP review the manuscript to ensure everything is exact and authentic. Now, when it comes to government, we know that nothing is really exact or authentic, or if it is, there's a lot of missing information. So it's going to be really interesting to see what Lou was actually approved to talk about, because there's still going to be classified programs I'm sure he was a part of that he can't talk about. So they probably just won't be in the book or say, yeah, this happened, but it's classified. So that will still be exact and authentic, but will we get the full story? So I'm sure people are going to be all over this book, and I'm sure we'll see it all over YouTube. I don't plan on getting this book, but I will be keeping an eye on what others are saying about it because I am interested. I just don't know if I want to buy it, if that makes sense. I'm sure you've already heard about the SALT conference. So this is again Admiral Tim Gallaudet talking about what retired Army Colonel Carl Nell said on stage. And watching the video, you can tell it's pretty much scripted. It didn't feel like it was just a natural conversation. It was question, answer, nothing more. If anything started to get off topic, it was brought right back. So it did seem scripted, but that doesn't mean the information wasn't great. And this is beautiful because it sums up exactly what he said in the interview. Why has society not taken this world-changing reality seriously? That is partly because of a deliberate and systematic disinformation campaign by the US government, which has perpetuated the stigma associated with UAPs. And there's plenty of documents online that have been declassified or brought out through FOIA requests that speak to this and the programs that the 3-letter agencies have been a part of. And Carl mentions why we need controlled disclosure. 1, to address a moral imperative, the public has a right to know the nature of reality, which should not be exclusive to the government. The pursuit of happiness requires it. This is exactly why they don't want it out, because if everyone was living a fulfilled, abundant life in touch with their higher self, in touch with source, well, they would have no one to govern and control and rule over, because we'd be truly a free society. Number 2, correct illegal and unethical conduct. Unelected officials are failing to allow congressional oversight of the programs and protocols involving UAP, of course. And 3, benefit humanity. The science and technology breakthroughs that can be accomplished by dedicated research into UAP could be transformational. And this sort of rounds back to point number 1, where the governments, these corporations, they want to keep all that information exclusive to them because they own the scientists, they own the research. Even history, archaeologists, if you start going outside that box, you're instantly labeled the buzzwords of the day: misogynist, conspiracy theorist, right-wing extremist, and whatever else they can think of to try and personally attack and discredit people. And if any scientists actually want to do that, well, guess what? They're not getting the funding. It gets cut right there. If nothing fits in the box, it doesn't get done. If something is outside of the box, it is not research, it's ignored, anomalies are completely cut out, where in fact that is exactly where you should be focusing, in my opinion. So that is the latest in UAP news that I wanted to share. There is a lot going on in the background. I'm sure we don't get to see everything, but I know lots of people are working hard on this topic and bringing this to the forefront. In my opinion, I don't think disclosure is going to happen through the government. I mean, people have been talking about this since forever. You can go back to the record books and you see there's documents into the 1700s and ancient times of UFO, UAP activity. And when you start really going down the rabbit hole, you can start getting into all of the religions and the stories, Book of Enoch, the Sumerian tablets, and that kind of stuff to just see how long this has actually been going on. I'm really looking forward to the next decade. I think we're going to see some huge advancement in everything coming forward. Of course, if you can't wait, then double down on meditation, doing the inner work, asking for the light and love, sending the light and love out. All the answers lie within. We humans are a fractal of the universe. All you got to do is tap in. And between you and me, I got a long way to go as well, diving into this and doing that work. So thank you so much for coming along this ride with me, and I will see you on the next video.